National government takes over control of the troubled Northwest province. It's the first time the national executive has taken over an entire province's administration. Sam Nzima, the photographer who used his lens to capture apartheid atrocities, has died at the age of 83. This is eNews live from Johannesburg. I'm Tony Ndoro. Now, Suprema Mapilo's fate as Premier of the Northwest may be decided this coming week after the President requested that the province be placed under administration. On top of this, the Interministerial Committee, headed by Minister in the Presidency, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, is scheduled to deliver its findings this week as well. Our reporter Michael Apple has more.
On Friday, the President wrote to Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, Thandi Modise, notifying her of Cabinet's intention to place the troubled Northwest Province under administration. On Saturday, the President had this to say.
In the coming week, we will be addressing the challenges and we will resolve the issues of the Northwest. And we're going to have discussions with Supra Mahumapelo, so that will be handled.
Parliament spokesperson Maloto Motapo wouldn't be drawn on what consequences, if any, the Northwest being placed under administration has for Mahumapelo. But national government's intervention and the NCOP's processes will run simultaneously. Mahumapelo has remained defiant since widespread violence and looting crippled the provincial capital of Mahikeng several weeks ago. He maintains he's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Political analyst Moleetsi Mbeki says he's inclined to agree with him.
I really don't blame him for standing his ground because I don't know what he's accused of. He's accused of corruption, but none of this is being taken to the courts and he's not being charged of it.
Similarly, this political analyst says what is happening in the Northwest could signal the start of testing times ahead for President Cyril Ramaphosa.
There's a perception in that NEC that those who supported Jacob Zuma are being purged, which means what you must expect is a fight back. And I think what is happening in the Northwest is part of that fight back.
The Interministerial Committee and task team sent to the Northwest will brief the media on their findings in the coming week. Michael Apple, Johannesburg.
The National Teachers Union believes its Deputy President, Alan Thompson, is being targeted. He is probing fraud and corruption in the KwaZulu-Natal Department of Education. The union has survived a drive-by shooting on the M41 in Mhlanga on Friday night. Tuba Vilane has more.
Last Friday,
vocal and fearless. That's how many are describing NATO's Deputy President, Alan Thompson. And according to his union, that's the reason for the attack. He was driving to Durban from the north when a car that had been following him opened fire. He was shot in the shoulder and is in a stable condition. Police are investigating a case of robbery and attempted murder.
They fired shots towards him and he fled to the nearest hospital in Mhlanga, where he abandoned his vehicle and went to the hospital. The suspects went to his vehicle and took an undisclosed amount of cash and fled the scene.
The union believes this was a clear assassination attempt. NATO is calling for the Department of Education to be placed under administration. They say the department is rife with corruption. The union says 20 million rand had been budgeted for sanitary towels, but the department has already spent over 100 million rand.
Why one would want Thompson dead is because of the revelations which the organization NATO has made in KwaZulu-Natal with regards to what we call the corruption. And we are waiting for that to be confirmed, and as the task teams from the National Department, after we had asked for an intervention, are on his way and are already about to begin.
The union is providing Thompson with security. Tuba Vilane, Durban.
Johannesburg emergency services say they'll be on high alert as severe cold and wet weather conditions are expected to hit the province. The South African Weather Service says most parts of Gauteng will experience a significant drop in temperature from Monday until Wednesday. Yesterday, snow fell over the Drakensberg and in neighboring Lesotho. Snow Report South Africa says there's also the possibility of more snow in the coming week. Authorities are urging residents not to leave any heating devices unattended to during this period. Now, veteran photographer Sam Nzima passed away in an Nelspruit hospital last night. Nzima, who was 83, is best known for taking the photograph of a dying Hector Peterson on June 16, 1976, during the Soweto uprising. Former journalists Dumakandlovu and Pearl Utuli are some of the people who worked closely with Nzima and are amongst those who paid tribute to a brave and honest individual.
Photograph brought in all the attention onto him. And it changed his life. Some of us, Moffat, Peter, were very vocal and we were known to be activists. He was not. So suddenly, all the focus was now on him. And he was not the kind of a person who loved the focus. And he always decried the fact that now there's a lot of attention being paid on him. And then, of course, the brutality of the system. He was then hounded. He was then, because the photograph was doing so well internationally, the police were not very happy about that. So there's a whole lot of animosity that was diverted to him. He was taken in for questioning a few times. And, you know, we kept on saying to him, you're a hero. You've just done something that has put the whole country to the spotlight. He had mixed feelings about that.
He was a loving person, you know, as a friend, as a journalist, you know, as a colleague. Sam cared for everybody, and it made sure that we did what we had to do. And, you know, in our days, we always had a photographer when we were covering stories. And if you traveled with Sam, Sam was always helpful and will even help you look at different angles of the story.
Acting Cape Town Mayor Ian Neilson will tomorrow appoint his mayoral committee. Neilson was appointed last week after the ousting of Patricia de Lille. He says he is required by law to appoint his committee and not even de Lille's court challenge can stop him. Neilson says he cannot wait any longer because governance will be compromised. The court instructed the IEC not to fill de Lille's position pending the court judgment. Former Eskom CEO Brian Molefe was allegedly complicit in the looting of Transnet. He apparently used the controversial locomotive deal to siphon off billions of rands. City Press is reporting they have seen a copy of the report by Workman's attorneys. Transnet appointed the law firm to look into allegations of corruption at the parastatal. The report shows that Molefe misled the board into inflating the tender. The board had agreed to buy locomotives for 38 billion rand, but costs ballooned to 54 billion rand. Gupta-linked companies allegedly scored billions in kickbacks. Public Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan is slamming the Transnet board for failing to act against implicated officials. More news after the break, including all your international news, where one person has been killed and 4 others wounded in a knife attack in Paris. Well, there is some relief for a terrified Cape Town family. One suspect has been arrested following the alleged rape of a 15-year-old girl on Good Friday. Leanne Jansen has more.
It's been almost 2 months of hell for this Khayelitsha mother and daughter. The teenager claims to have been raped at gunpoint by 2 men on the 30th of March.
Then they took me to a place where it was dark and said I must search myself. I said myself. Then they said I must take off my clothes. They were armed, so I was scared to scream, so everyone could hear me.
What followed were weeks of anxiety and fear for the grade 9 pupil. Her alleged rapists still roamed her neighborhood, Monwabisi Park.
I feel threatened because I see the guy every day. And when I look at him, I feel like he will do it again.
Police had claimed to not have any record of the case and had urged the girl and her mother to approach the Harare police station commander. On Friday, the panicked mother contacted eNCA, claiming police had instructed her to be on the lookout for the alleged perpetrator and to inform them when the man was home. The mother says she felt as though police had tasked her with doing their job. eNCA then contacted the police. 2 days later, on Sunday, police arrested a 21-year-old man on a charge of rape. The mother says this is the best Mother's Day gift she could have received. Police say the suspect will appear in the Khayelitsha Magistrates Court soon. Leanne Jansen, Cape Town.
Now, as the world commemorates Mother's Day, mums are often showered with love by their children and, of course, other family members. But in some instances, they find themselves alone. Many are behind bars, and Mother's Day is a bittersweet occasion. Liranzo Temba finds out what this day means to mothers who are incarcerated.
Baby Tanika is the apple of her mother's eye. Every chance she gets, Razana Porter spends time with her little one, even if it's behind high prison walls. Porter is one of 32 moms at this correctional facility, raising their babies here.
It's a bit sad, having another Mother's Day in prison. I think it's my second Mother's Day in prison.
Porter has 3 other children.
It's very hard in here, especially when you're not with your children. And it's a pain that no one can help you with. You know, you go to bed every night, you think about your children. Are they warm? Do they eat?
Mami Ngoyi knows this feeling all too well. The Congo national says her heart longs for the warm embrace of her daughter, who she gave birth to in jail.
When she sees other mothers with their kids, you know, she feels it in her heart because her child is so far away from her. But she's so blessed. She has her sister who, you know, came and collected her child.
A fraud conviction landed Abrahams behind bars in February. The 29-year-old was 3 months pregnant at the time. The former bank employee will in August give birth to her first child, a girl. The thought of navigating motherhood behind bars is starting to set in.
I have no idea. I'm just hoping and taking it day by day. I'm just hoping that once the baby is born, we can work through everything. I'm only hoping to keep the baby here for 12 months.
Mothers stay with their children with their babies until they are 2 years old. And from there, those mothers that do not have support systems, that do not have families, they are then the children taken to foster care.
The Johannesburg Correctional Facility is one of 7 prisons countrywide where mothers and children are housed. There are currently just under 40 babies in Gauteng's prisons. Liranzo Temba, Johannesburg.
Here's a look at news from further afield now, and authorities in Indonesia have confirmed that a family of 6 is behind Sunday's multiple church bombings. Police say the family, including a 9-year-old girl, were members of a group linked to Islamic State. They believe the motive for the attack could be because of international pressure on IS. At least 13 people were killed in the attacks at 3 Christian churches in the port city of Surabaya. Meanwhile, in Paris, 1 person has been killed and 4 others wounded in a knife attack. A knife-wielding assailant shouting "God is great" in Arabic killed a passerby in Paris before being shot dead by police. France's anti-terrorism unit is investigating the incident. And celebrations are underway in Israel to mark the opening of the first U.S. embassy in Jerusalem. Several events are taking place, including a gala dinner for U.S. President's daughter, Ivanka Trump. The critics see the move as jeopardizing U.S. relations in the Middle East. This is the latest move by the U.S. to officially recognize the city as Israel's capital. Jerusalem is a holy place for Jews, Christians, and for Muslims. National government takes over control of the troubled Northwest province. It's the first time the national executive has taken over an entire province's administration. Sam Nzima, the photographer who used his lens to capture apartheid atrocities, has died at the age of 83. Mothers across the country today got spoiled by their children as we celebrated Mother's Day. Well, we put together some messages from some of our colleagues sending their love to those they hold dearest.
Mother's Day, and we love you and thank you for buying us nice things.
Good morning to South Africa. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. A special Happy Mother's Day to my mother. Thank you for everything you've done for us and that you carry on doing for our daughters.
Happy Mother's Day, Mama. Paul, your name, a gift to us, a gift to our hearts, a gift to our children, a gift to our future, our dreams. Thank you so much for being you.
Happy Mother's Day, Mommy. I'm sorry we don't get to celebrate because we live in different provinces now, but just know my heart is always home with you. I'll be thinking of you all day, sending love, lots and lots of love. Have a fabulous day.
All right, that's it for on a Mother's Day. Have a fantastic evening. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.